Yeah, so my grandfather was my friend. Your brother. David, my grandfather.
Hi, Grandma. It's Michael. Happy 100th birthday. I can't believe that this is your 100th birthday. You seem so much younger, and I love you so much, and you've been a very important part of my life and continue to be a very important part of my life. And look forward to many more happy times ahead. Love you.
And then whenever you're ready.
Okay, hi Aunt Dorothy. This is Susan, and I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled to be here to help you celebrate this wonderful occasion, and I'm wishing you many more happy memories.
Okay, so Aunt Dorothy, wishing you a very happy 100th birthday, and looking forward to seeing you again in the next your 110th birthday, or maybe your 120th, whatever you choose. And you're an inspiration, and you look great. So happy birthday!
Hi, Grandma Dad. Just wanted to wish you a very, very happy birthday. I hope all this party is all you were wishing for, and I hope you many more fabulous wishes and many more fun memories. Love you.
Okay, everyone should take pictures of my mother. It's important. Unfortunately, this is the only rough part of the whole trip. So smile, Mom. Smile. Okay. Well, let me just. I want to make an official wish and welcome all of you to come. I mean, people have come from California, Oregon, New Jersey, and all kinds of Massachusetts, and everyone. So I want to thank you all for coming. I think we also should give Leslie a big round of applause. Without that, it wouldn't have been possible to do. I'm not going to say very much other than to welcome you all here and turn it over to other people who are going to be giving speeches. The one thing I do want to tell everybody who's related to me here is that I have spent a significant amount of time trying to put together the family history, and in this folder you'll see two sets, fairly long set of all the information of the descendants from Benjamin Wolfe Goldrosen, which was my mother's grandfather, and everybody who's here should be on the list. Everyone should look at the information to see if it's correct. I will tell you that the first time I did it, I put my birthday wrong. So there's nothing personal if you don't find it. Anybody, I will send anyone an email of that. There is for the Goldmans an equivalent document that has all of the descendants of the Goldmans, including somebody who I found came over here, which was Giddle Portnoy, which was my great-great-grandmother, who came over to the United States. So those people, the Goldmans, should want to look at that. And then for the Goldrosens, one of the things I did find was that there are, I have four visual representations of what each branch of the Goldrosen family looks like. By each branch, I mean Morris Goldrosen's descendant, which was my grandfather, Sam Goldrosen's descendants, one of Morris's brothers, Harry Goldrosen's descendants, of which no one's in this at the party today, but all of his descendants, and Joseph Goldrosen, Reva Raz is here, and her descendants. So you can see that visually. I'm going to leave that here. You can look at anybody who wants their own copy. Just have to email me or email me through Leslie, and I will email it back. Danny, my younger brother, is going to give the short speech.
Can Mom hear? Anybody asked her what she can hear?
You can hear okay?
Yeah.
Wow. It's going to be a while.
It's just so great. It's been so long since we've had a family get together like this. So many faces I haven't seen in so long, years, decades. New generations have all come to wish Mom a happy birthday. And all I can say is, love you, Mom. Happy birthday.
To express our love and appreciation. Your 3 sons are a great debt to you because you've made us the people who are really enjoying very wonderful, wonderful lives. And that was all on the foundation of your love and support for us over all these years. You expressed your love to us in many different ways. I remember when Bill and I were traveling up to Worcester to visit our Worcester family, which is always a very special occasion. This is before video games, before all the things that could keep children amused. So you kept our attention with your wonderful stories. Your creativity in making up stories for a 4, 5, 6 hour trip was really remarkable.
Especially when you weren't being held down, you could crawl
And-
lie on the back seat.
Otherwise we'd be fighting in the back seat. You're right. It was a very good situation for everyone. And you were there for us, and you constantly. I remember growing up, you would come into the room sometimes, and you would hug Bill, and you would hug me, and you'd say, "I love you so much." And that was just the way it was. You were always there.
That's beautiful.
Well, you're beautiful. And when Dan, you may remember that when Dan was a very young child, a little boy, not much older than Jacob, he had to have an operation.
Oh.
Remember that? And you used your credentials as a nurse to get permission from the hospital to stay in his room 24 hours a day, to be with him all the time. They waived all the guest restrictions. And I said, Mom, there's nurses there and all that. And you said, I don't want him to wake up and be fearful, not knowing where he is, in a strange room. When he wakes up in the night, I want to be there. And he did wake up in the night, and you were there holding his hand and reassuring him. And that's the kind of love you've given all of us over all these years.
Oh, that's so nice.
And more than love, Mom, you've taught us things which we've used, not knowing them, but used in our growing up. Michael was the first one, your grandson Michael was the first one to really identify this. But I've thought about it over the years. Michael wrote an essay when he was going to college in his application, which expressed somebody he admired, and he admired you. And he said in his essay that you taught him differently because you were an artist. You taught him how to see life through your eyes as an artist and appreciate that. And I realized from reflecting on my life that I gained an appreciation of seeing life as you see it. Because you would come back from being in New York City and you would have these wonderful stories. And they were stories about what you would observe people doing. And they were stories about how the interactions took place. And you always found the humor. One story which you may remember, it seems to be a serious story, but you told it in such a wonderful way. Dad was on the bus and he had his pocket hit. Somebody stole his wallet while he was on the bus with you. You remember that? Whoa! Anyway, you came back, and most people would say, oh, your father had his wallet stolen, and then somebody retrieved the wallet for him, and it would have been a simple event. It was kind of exciting. You told the story. You said your father was on the bus and he was standing, and I was sitting, and I was watching all the people on the bus, as you always do. And there was this woman sitting opposite your father, and she was trying to get his attention. She kept looking at him and grimacing and nodding her head, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. You couldn't figure out. And then you said, and then your dad noticed, and she was, trying to tell him that somebody was picking his pocket. And Dad realized what she was saying. He reached in, and the wallet was gone, and he saw somebody moving away, and he called out, "He's got my wallet!" And the guy on the bus had stopped and was letting somebody off, and this fellow ran out the door. And you're telling this story. You're saying he ran out the door, and then this young man jumped up, and he ran out the door after him. And we're all watching as he's chasing him across Broadway. And as it gets to the middle of Broadway, the guy is giving up, and he's throwing the wallet away. And everybody in the bus is watching. And the bus driver figures he's waited long enough, and he starts to leave. And everybody in the bus gets up and yells at the bus driver, "You can't leave! Wait for him to come back! He's got the wallet!" And so they waited, and the guy came back, and then everybody applauded, and it was a great story. And the point is that you saw all that. Most of us would have been caught up worrying or anything, but you took it all in, and to you, it was one of life's adventures. And that's actually, I think, a beautiful gift you've given us. You showed us how to look at life and everything that happened as a story of life. It's just part of your creativity. When you talk about it now, you say to me, "Len, I was looking at this, and I made this connection with something that happened in my life," and you start to make a story of connections. And that's a wonderful way to view life. As a matter of fact, now you talk about your life as being a collage. Remember that? Your favorite? My life is a collage. And for those, everything is a collage. And as you may know, a collage for an artist, that's a type of painting where you take different materials, flowers, maybe some stones, and maybe a drawing, and you put it all together and you make a work of art out of putting all those different things into some design. And it's actually a great way to look at life. And, it's a beautiful thing to think of life as all these different experiences and how it makes our life into a story. And so you've given us that perspective, not consciously, not by trying to teach us these things, but just by the example of your own life. And I think we all grow up with our parents being there for us, and it's just like the air and the water, and they're just there, and they make this contribution to our lives. But it's only if we live long enough, and they live long enough, that we start to reflect on, because now we've lived long enough to know what life is, and we start to see that they've done things that have deeply affected our own growth and progress. And I think one of the things that you did for us is to show an example of somebody with a passion for something, a passion for living, a passion to unfold something important in your own life. And for you, it was your art. And I remember the first time this dawned on me. I was 15. And at that time, we had to get up very early. We were on split sessions in school. And in junior high school, I had to get up like at 5:30 in the morning. And I got up, and I started, to get ready for school. And I go out, and there's the bedroom door open, and the television is on at 6 a.m. Now, for those of you who are younger than me, a lot of people, may be hard to remember this, but there was a time when television wasn't 24 hours. It actually ended at night, and it didn't begin until some time in the morning, like 6 a.m., and it wasn't on all the time. So it was a little unusual to see television on at 6 a.m. Usually there was nothing watching. But Mom was watching it. And it was sunrise semester. And it was Columbia University college lectures that were being offered to the public for free at 6 a.m. every day. And you could send away to be enrolled in Columbia University courses. And you could read the books, write the papers, and you would enroll in a literature course. And you were watching the lecture and taking notes. And later in the day, I said to you, Mom, what are you doing this for? And you said, well, I'm interested in literature. And I said, what do you have to do? She said, well, I read the books, I listen to the lecture, and I have to write the paper, and I have to send it in, I'll get a grade, and I'll get comments. And I said to you, because I was a street smart kind of kid, I've been to school, and I figured I'd give you some advice. I'd say, Mom, you don't have to send in the papers and get grades, you can just watch the lectures and read the books, and it'd be a lot less work. And you said, no, I want to. No, it's not too. Can you hear me?
I hear you, but it would be easier if you were more at my level.
Oh, well, okay. So I said, Mom, why are you doing it? You don't have to. And you said, well, I want to get the advice from the teacher about my writing. I want my writing to improve. And I want to see the grades so that I know whether I'm improving. And I thought about that. It was, as a parent, and every parent tells their kid to do well in school, this is the reason you should. But here was my mother walking the talk. You were in school, not because you had to. You were in school because it was going to be fulfilling the desire you had to grow. And after that, I started to notice more about what you were doing with your life. And I noticed that you were driving into the city a couple of times a week to go to the Art Students League. You were in your studio. You were planning your painting. You were making the painting. You were revising the painting. You were trying sculpture. You were doing all these things that I understood now were coming from deep inside of you, things that you wanted to express in your life, not because you had to, because this was your passion. And what it gave me was the freedom to know that you would always support whatever I wanted to do that was my passion in life. And that's what you did. When I didn't become a lawyer working at a firm, but I went off and was a lawyer for Maharishi, the university that was just starting, this was my passion in life. You and Dad supported it because I was unfolding my path. So this is the kind of contribution you've made to your family. And I know that there are other generations that you will be inspired by your example. So you have a beautiful collage. It's your life. And you've made a wonderful contribution to all of you. Never gave up in achieving your goal. And that's the example you give from all of us. And we're so lucky to have you in our lives. And all of us wish that you go on the way you've been going on, because you still have that drive to know and to learn and to explore. And as a matter of fact, if being young is being interested in new things in life, you've never grown old. And you'll be an example to us forever. Thank you.
And my grandma and I have always had a special bond, dating back to when I first came into her life around Christmas time, 1973, to when I named her Grandma Dot. My Grandma Dot when I was 1 or 2 years old. Now many people in the family call her that. Probably because it was too a big mouthful to say Grandma Dorothy at the time, probably. And the bond that I have with my grandmother continues to this day. And let me say what a tremendous day this is for me. Living to 100 in the way that my grandma has, growing old so gracefully and beautifully, keep in mind my grandma Googles stuff on her iPad to this day. It's really a gift that she's given to me, and I think it's safe to say to all of us that I'll always cherish, just you, the way you've lived. But back to that bond that I was talking about, I think of the greatness of my relationship with my Grandma Dot as breaking into 3 parts. The part about me, the part about her, and the part about us. The first part about me, I've always been able to just be myself around my grandma, and for my grandma to just be in wonder and delight of who I've been, and that's given me a lot of strength. I remember when I was a kid, like eating a bowl of ice cream, and my grandmother pulling up a seat just to watch me eat ice cream, and I thought that was strange at the time, but I know it made me feel very good. And there was another incident, I think when I was 11 or 12 and starting to be very interested in girls and very self-conscious and not having much game at all. And I was checking myself out in the mirror, kind of probably feeling bad about myself, how awkward I looked. And my grandmother like pinched my cheeks and looked in the mirror and said, "Oh, you're so handsome. The girls must be all over you. You know, you must have them beat them down with a stick." I think that's what you said, beat them down with a stick. It wasn't like that, but I was thinking, wow, you know, I wish maybe there was something about like what women admired in the 1940s that I would have done well at that time. But also the drawings and the doodles and the birthday cards I've made over the years, my grandmother still has those in the scrapbook, and she's just cherished every single one of them, and she still to this day thinks that I have quite an artistic talent that I haven't actually explored, and I think you might be right. I mean, it might be something that I cultivate down the road, but I still enjoy making those doodles, and I'll never forget like how you encouraged me with my creativity. And that college essay that Lenny mentioned, I mean, you love that, and you have it up in your house, and you have it up on the wall, and you still probably read it from time to time. It means a lot to me. So that's the part about me. And then with the part about you is I kind of got into your life and what you enjoyed, and you took me to things that were probably a little bit over my head, but symphonies and orchestras and operas and plays and MoMA, and showing me how to look at works of art and the impressionist art and squinting the right way and looking at just things that you exposed me to, but coming into your world and the things that you enjoy. And then there was most of our relationship is the part about that we enjoyed together, that was about us, and like swims we took together in the ocean at the Freeport Recreation Center, on the rooftop of the Lincoln Plaza building, walks in Central Park and Point Lookout, playing Scrabble and Romeo, and the Malibu Beach Club. And this is a big one for me. You know, my grandma and I often started a beach day late in the day around 4 p.m., eating in crowds in the strongest sun. And my grandparents had the same cabana at the same beach club since 1955, and they had the best cabana because it was one on the very end that wasn't sandwiched between others. And we had to walk down like a long line of other cabanas. And back when I was a kid, everybody knew you and by extension me. And walking down that row, there were all your friends and they admired you. So it was almost like a receiving line, and they were very happy to see me and made me feel really, really good. Like I'll never forget that feeling of walking down that row of cabanas with you and sometimes with Grandpa at the beach. It's very meaningful. And once we were at the beach, I'd go into the ocean and go for a swim, play handball, and you'd prepare a very simple dinner in that small kitchen there in the cabana. And I felt a very deep sense of peace and well-being with the ocean air and the scent of the smoke from the charcoal barbecues and the sound of the seagulls. And if I could draw on those memories to this day, and it brings me back to really the essence of who I am. And so it's almost like a compass for me. It brings me back to who I am, with all the stuff that goes on in my life and all the people that come in and out. That feeling, if I think about that, it's like if I need to think of something happy at night, that's what I'll think about. But taking a step back for all of this, my Grandma Dot was just a staple of my life and of my brother's lives. If it was one of us kids were having a birthday, Grandma Dot was there and she was bringing a cake, the cake. We knew which one it would be. It was the chocolate one with the chocolate frosting. And the same one she had made for my father and my uncles, and the same one that her mother had made for her, the recipe from the Jewish Home Cookbook published around the time my grandmother was born. Also, Grandma Dot was going to bring her camera and take pictures and make us pose for the pictures for awkwardly uncomfortable lengths of time sometimes until she got the perfect shot. But she did get the perfect shot, not every time, but enough to justify the wait and to produce some of the most classic, perfectly composed photographs that our family has enjoyed and will enjoy for decades to come. Besides cake, I also remember other foods of Grandma Dot, the tomatoes you used to grow in your garden that you ripened on the windowsill, and cucumbers from the garden, and also the junk food like Twinkies and Malibars and other stuff that you had in that pantry. And to this day, when I go to that pantry, when I pass by that pantry, I have to go in and pig out and eat some of that junk food, even though I'm on a paleo diet. And then there's the furniture that I remember that I associate you with, the swivel chairs from the 60s around the kitchen table that no kid has ever been allowed to swivel in, but somehow generations of children, grandchildren, and now great-grandchildren have swiveled on it enough. So that kitchen table has deep gashes and grooves and dug into every single inch of its sides. And the bed in the master bedroom that I used to think was so cool because you could make it go up and down with a remote control and like to a full upright and declined position. I still think that's pretty cool. I want to get one of those. Now, when I wrote that college essay, the one that Lenny mentioned, and the one that you still gush over, the task was to describe my hero, someone I admired greatly, and to give the reasons why. Well, Grandma, I just did it again. This is the 2014 edition of that essay. You're still my hero because of what you've given me over the years, because of what we've shared. And now you've even lived to the heroic age of 100. I will always feel blessed to have known you as I have. Happy birthday. I love you.
Oh, I can read it.
Yeah, you can read it.
Read it.
You can read it.
It's all more. Yeah. Ariel gets it.
Can you hear? Yes. Okay. When I was trying to write this speech, I learned the definition of writer's block. It's when you try to summarize someone as amazing as my grandma in under 30 seconds. And seriously, Grandma, you are so many different.
I do that.
Grandma, you are so many different things. You're creative, you're kind, and a great storyteller, just to name a few. We've made so many memories together in your art studio. You've won at Scrabble more times than I can count. You've given me more love than I can explain. Happy 100th birthday, Grandma. We love you.
Jacob is the oldest. Jacob would like to speak. He's the oldest great-grandchild.
I really wish that you have a happy 100th I love you.
Is it my turn now?
Liza's going to speak. Here, I'll hold the microphone.
Say it again.
She doesn't want to use the microphone.
Okay.
All right.
What
just
she
say
say?
Ariel, what'd she say?
She said she doesn't want to use the microphone.
happy birthday.
I want my purple necklace. I bought her up there.
Okay. There you go. Papa has it. Okay. Grandma wants it.
Okay, you want to say something, Mom?
Oh
You
yeah.
got bride.
Oh,
Are you
and
gonna say
actually, Grandma
Oh,
Dog.
you finished?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, thank you all. I'm just so overwhelmed.
Did you
It's
hear
like,
me?
it's like a dream. I mean, like, it's not for real. It's not for real. But God bless you all. And God bless me. And all of us together at this wonderful moment. Thank you.
That's for you, Dorothy.
And we should now all sing happy birthday. Today is actually her 100th birthday.
Before we do that, we have a special candle
We
here
have a
that's going to
special
sing to her.
Oh yeah, 100. I said I love you. I said I love you. I said I love you. Sam, look here. Look at that candle. That candle.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dorothy. Happy birthday to you.
All right, blow out all the kids blow out the candle.
You're going to have to blow really hard. You may have to come around here. Oh, Jake got it.
Okay.
It isn't close enough.
I just want to say, as a DJ, it was so beautiful that even the DJ was crying. It was beautiful.
I would give it to one of them.
To my great-great aunt, I can't be happier for you today. I wish you the absolute happiest of birthdays on this phenomenal occasion and achievement from yours. Nothing but all of our love.
Hi, Dorothy. This is Mike Aronson talking on your 100th birthday, and my wish for you is that you invite me to the cruise on your 120th birthday.